How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Mark Cuban, Yuga Labs leaked backlash over OpenSea's NFT royalty change. So Mark Cuban and Bored Ape Yacht Club creator Yuga Labs have criticized OpenSea because on Thursday they announced they intend to sunset the enforcement of creator royalties. So this means that creators won't be required to get their royalties for NFTs per secondary and other sales. Not collecting and paying royalties on NFT sales is a huge mistake by OpenSea, says Cuban, and it diminishes the trust in the platform and hurts the industry. I also say this is a capitulation to the competition, as other NFT marketplaces have slashed creator royalties in order to woo the buyers. So not much going on today. It's the weekend. We're getting pretty quiet on the weekend, so that's pretty good. Or maybe a storm is brewing. Do have somewhat of a symmetrical triangle here that could end up breaking down since we did fall away. So I would watch out if that does happen, but that would be a bear flag from like here to here. But if it just plays as a symmetrical triangle, you get about half of the triangle. And it could play either way. If we went to the upside, we'd go there. If we went to the downside, we'd go a little lower, probably around here. But if it played out as a bear flag, we could see even lower. So we could retest some of these supports as the long and the short. Stochastic's trying to run up, RSI is trying to run up, VWAP's trying to push up. Our money flow is testing that neutral, so if our money flow breaks bearish and holds, we could see bearish action, which would mean we would see the further breakdown. Our momentum does want to get a bit of a round as our VWAP is trying to come up. So if that momentum can push up with the VWAP and the money flow can bounce, we could see some bullish action. However, if we lose it here, we could see further bearish action. And that would be for our altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is sliding as well, so most people are either going into stablecoins or the dollar, as they either need to pay some bills or aren't too sure of the market and want to get away from some stuff. RSI is coming down, Stochastic's coming down, our momentum is coming out, our VWAP is trying to head back up though, so our money flow is trying to test that neutral. If our money flow breaks bearish, we could start a bearish trend on our dominance, which then we could see further lower prices and maybe even lower than this breakdown. Our VWAP is making lower lows, so if we reject a lower high, then we could have a bearish trend on that, and that would mean our momentum could drag out. Over on Bitcoin futures, we have a pretty good gap down. I believe that's like we've been making quite a few gaps everywhere. But we have a gap down here, so that gap could fill later. I believe we had like gaps on lower time frames. Our point control has dropped to around this area. Our value area high is here. If we continue with red candles, it is likely we would come down, test this value area low, which would be worse than our 20k breakdown because that's around 19k, and our point control, and our value area low would be around that 15.7 where we had the low lows back here. So if we don't get bounced around this 20k or the point control, that could be in play. RSI is heading down, Stochastic's coming out, VWAP's coming down, our money flow is rejecting away, and our momentum is coming out. So most our signals are pointing to downside. If we break this support, I would be cautionary. Over on Bitcoin, we have a pretty good drop. We are trying to get a little bit of a rebound, but nothing too strong. So this could be indicative of a further move down. Our RSI is trying to get a little bit of a curl. Our Stochastic's trying to get a little bit of a curl and a bounce. Our VWAP is pushing into the bearish territory pretty drastically. And our VWAP is trying to get a bit of a bounce here. Our momentum's trying to bounce as well, so that is good. That is a positive sign, upwards momentum. Speaking of up, you should hit those thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, join Cripples and our other members in our Discord with the links down below, and check out our Reaper apparel merch, because these are some nice shirts. But otherwise, onto the 4 hour. Over on the 4 hour, Stochastic's trying to bounce up, RSI is overall losing strength. VWAP is trying to maintain some bullish momentum, but it's overall pretty flat. That VWAP is heading out, and that momentum is trying to get a little bit of a recover. But if that VWAP continues down, the momentum could get a red dot and reject away. Over on the 2 hour, we're pretty flat. Watch out, because this could be a downward triangle or a bear flag. Bear flag either way, that could break us down. A bear flag from here. Little flagpole would be here. Not going to bother to draw the channel. You should be familiar with channels, as we've drawn many back in this range. But that could give us a breakdown to around this 24K. It'd just be 2 straight lines. So, RSI is going pretty flat, VWAP's coming out, momentum's rolling over, so if our VWAP breaks bearish, we could see further downside. Money flow is trending out, so keep an eye on that, and our stochastic looks like it's about to break down. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic wants to get a little bit of a bounce, so that could be a positive sign. RSI is pretty flat, so if it can bounce from here with the stochastic, that would be a good sign, and we could head to the upper levels of the flag. However, if we don't break that, then we could get rejected. Our VWAP is maintaining bearish momentum, not very strongly though. We can't really get lower than at 5. So if we don't get lower than this 5, we could see a rebound and some further price action up. Over on graph for the daily, we got our break up. We'll get into that in the lower time frames. RSI is heading up, stochastic has a bullish cross, money flow is trying to break through that neutral, so this will be a pivotal spot. If we can break through the neutral, we could have further bullish momentum. VWAP's trying to break through as well, so our momentum could get a green dot. Over on the 4 hour, you can see that little break up, so we did push almost to our full move. Again, that's why you don't want to take the full move, because the full move's not guaranteed. Our stochastic's starting to push, RSI's starting to push, money flow's slipping bearish, so I would exercise caution. But our VWAP is starting to push away, stochastic's starting to roll over, and our momentum's starting to come out, So overall, we have more bearish signals than bullish, so I would exercise caution. Over on the 2 hour, we have a little bit of a reversal arrow going on, so that could bring us down as we ran up. Stochastic's bowing out, RSI is starting to taper out, our momentum has a red dot and could come out from here as our VWAP's going into the bearish territory. Our money flow is trying to bounce off that neutral, so if the money flow can maintain some bullish momentum and our VWAP can cross bullishly, we could see a little bit of a bounce up here. Otherwise, we may see further downside and we could just have another leg forming. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is heading down pretty sharply. Momentum's heading down almost as sharp. Our RSI is trying to get a little bit of a curl, trying to maintain bullish strength, but if that stochastic maintains the bearish strength, that RSI is likely to follow. Our money flow is trying to maintain a bullish trend. Can't really get above this 14 though, so if we don't get above and cross strongly above that 14, we could get a rejection, which would roll us down. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, and our money flow is looking like we could reject, so keep an eye on that. Over on ANKR, we have a little bit of a push. ANKR's a little gappy, so we'll see what's going on. I believe we have lower gaps. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic's trying to bounce. Our money flow is not really too convincing though. Our stochastic wants to bounce. VWAP is trying to head up. VWAP's very weak though, so just watch out if it rolls over. Our momentum's getting that double green dot, so if our VWAP can maintain bullish strength, we could see further bullish action and test this Fibonacci area and possibly our value area low afterwards. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic's starting to kind of taper out. RSI is continuing to move up as our stochastic's still in bullish territory. VWAP's rolling away. Money flow is in the bearish territory. Keep an eye on that. If it rolls over from here and gets lower lows, we could start a bearish trend again. Our momentum is starting to taper out as our VWAP's coming out, so if that VWAP breaks bearish, we could see some further bearish momentum from here. Over on the 2 hour, we have a little bit of a reversal, so same as graph, so we could get a drop from that. Stochastic wants to push up, RSI wants to push, our momentum is starting to roll away as we have that red dot. But our VWAP's trying to cross into bullish territory, so if our VWAP can get some strong bullish cross here, we could continue up. However, if the VWAP rejects away and doesn't make a new high, we could reject away. Our VWAP is starting to inch its way out. Our money flow is starting to inch its way out, So that money flow could start to weaken. We have a very slight bullish trend, but is on shaky ground and could get rolled over. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is pushing up. Our momentum is trying to push up. Money flow is getting a bit of a bounce through that bearish territory, so that is good for us. And our VWAP's trying to continue up. So we do have some bullish signals here. If they continue, that could carry us higher. However, we have 2 manipulation X's that want to bring us down, so keep an eye on that, as well as those lower time frame gaps for this candle wick. Over on XRP for the daily, we are getting a little bit of break above this bearish possibility, so that is good. I'm going to get rid of that because that was a very weak pattern. That's why you don't want to trade on any kind of pattern that just got created. I believe that was on the 4 hour. RSI is trying to bounce, stochastic's trying to run up, our VWAP's trying to run up, and our money flow's trying to push out. Momentum's trying to get a bit of a push. So that's one example why I don't tend to draw patterns exactly when I see them, and I'll wait maybe a day and try and see if the pattern holds. Over on the 4 hour, we do have that little bit of a break up, so we could still get locked into a bear flag here. That could just push our channel up. We're going to have to watch if we get rejected here. If we do, tomorrow I'll draw a channel here. Stochastic's running up, RSI is going pretty flat. Our VWAP's starting to roll over, so watch out, as if we get lower highs, we could start a bearish trend. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, so that could bring us lower. Our momentum is starting to roll away, as our VWAP's starting to come out, so keep an eye on both of those. Over on the 2 hour, we are getting a pretty decent push, but again, when you get these good pushes, you're likely to correct. This could be in response to the big move here, but that could set us up to kind of trend back down. Stochastic's starting to kind of roll over. RSI is pretty flat. Our VWAP is coming out. Our momentum is starting to roll over, and our money flow is starting to get a little bit of a downtrend. So if that continues, our money flow could continue out. Over on the 1 hour, we are starting to kind of trend away. Stochastic's starting to fall and wants to get a little bit of a rebound. Excuse me. RSI is going kind of flat. Momentum's starting to come out. Our VWAP is going flat. Our money flow wants to break through that neutral. So if the money flow and VWAP can break through, we could see some bullish action. However, if they roll over here, we could see further bearish action. Over on ALGO for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a push up. Stochastic's trying to get a bullish cross. RSI is trying to push up. Our money flow is pretty flat. Our VWAP's trying to curl up. And our momentum's trying to curl up as well. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic's pretty overbought, going kind of flat. RSI looks like it's starting to lose strength, even though it has as much strength as it can have with that stochastic. And our VWAP is starting to head back down, so watch out. If it breaks this level, we could break into the bearish territory and see another downtrend. Money flow is starting to reject away from that neutral as well, so keep an eye on that. Our momentum's looking a little shaky, and that could come out as our VWAP's coming down. Over on the 2 hour, we have a one manipulation X right now. Stochastic's trying to bounce. RSI is pretty flat. Our momentum has a red dot as our VWAP's in the bearish territory, so keep an eye on those. Our money flow is trending up, so that is a slight bullish trend. That is good for us. If that can continue and we can push through the neutral, we could see some further price action up. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is trying to maintain bullish momentum. If we can do that, we can get that bullish push, and it can carry to other time frames. RSI is trying to head up. Stochastic wants to get a bullish cross. Momentum wants to come up, and our VWAP's trying to break through that neutral. So we are trying to get a push here. Keep an eye on the next few candles. If they're green, we could see some further trends up. Otherwise, if we see some red candles start to come in, we could get some rejections. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Again, like and subscribe.